All right, folks, welcome back. Before we get back to Bree Payton and the phones, I'm joined now by Newsmax TV's John Bachman, who has more on Hillary's email problem, and he's convened a special focus group to talk about it. John?
The next thing we're going to talk about is Hillary Clinton's emails. This new Inspector General's report from the State Department basically faulted her. And if you read into the report, it looks like she intentionally tried to obscure the record which she is required to keep as a employee of the federal government. This is her most recent explanation for her email scandal. She says other people did it, so it's fine. Take a listen.
Personal email use was the practice for other secretaries of state. And I know that because it is well known, it's pointed out in the report. But it was still a mistake, and as I've said many times, if I could go back, I would do it differently.
Carrie, specifically, I wanted to ask you what you thought about her excuse. It was okay because everybody else was doing it.
I think it sounded very childish and not like a presidential candidate. I feel like she should have taken responsibility for actions and owned up to it and said she was wrong.
Tammy, you feel the same way?
I do. I was very disappointed to learn about the emails. National security is an important thing and a big issue and not something to be taken lightly, especially of a presidential candidate.
Peter, there was a poll that came out this week, a Rasmussen poll. Around 50% of respondents said, look, even if Hillary Clinton is indicted, she should continue to run for president. What do you think about that?
That's unbelievable. That's how dictators get elected, when they get supported blindly without regard to their conduct.
Her comment that it was easier to carry one device instead of two, that is very simplistic. My son is a sales manager for a hotel, not a security risk or anything else, and he always has two cell phones with him. One is his work cell phone, the other is his personal. So that is just disingenuous.
There is another poll I want to talk about, a Morning Consult poll. This poll shows that 48% of those surveyed consider the private email server a problem. Are you guys surprised? Let's go with you, Peter. Are you surprised that number is not more than 50%?
I am. The question I would ask to some of those people that would vote for Hillary no matter what, is there anything Hillary could do that would keep you from voting for her?
The email scandal it's outrageous and ludicrous that she can still run. I'm sorry, it's just very mind-boggling that we're still having this discussion about these emails.
Who thinks that Hillary Clinton is going to wind up in a courtroom to face a judge in regards to this email scandal? No hands. Tell me, Tom, why not? Why do you think that is?
Because it's one thing for the FBI to investigate it, and then they make the recommendations, but they don't do the indictments. Obama's Department of Justice would actually be responsible for that. I think they're going to try and not go out of their way not to indict her.
All right, so there you go, Steve. Coming up in our next hour during Prime with J.D. Hayworth, we're going to be back with our focus group talking about Donald Trump taking on all comers, including members of his own party. Is there going to be a price to pay in the long run? We'll have that coming up in about an hour. Back to you, Steve.
All right, John, thank you. Look forward to it. Everybody stay tuned for Prime with JD, of course, right after this show.